Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories like these. Now, let's get into today's story video. AITA for telling my wife the lock on my daughter's door does not get removed till my brother-in-law and his daughters are out of our house. Sammy, my brother-in-law, lost his house immediately after his divorce 10 months ago. He moved in with us a few months ago, bringing his twin kids, Olivia and Sloan 18, with him. His sister, my wife, and I have one kid, Zoe 16, and she and her cousins aren't particularly close, but they get along great. Olivia and Sloan show no regard for Zoe's privacy. They used to barge into her room and grab everything they could get their hands on. Makeup, phone accessories, clothing, a school laptop, and so forth. Zoe complained a lot, and I've previously urged the girls to respect Zoe's privacy and stop taking things away from her. My wife and Sammy had no objections to this. After all, they're females, and this is standard adolescent behavior. I was absolutely opposed. The last straw came when Zoe purchased a $60 MAC cosmetics kit that looks like a paint set that she had been saving up for over a month, and one of the girls, Sloan, grabbed it without permission and damaged it by mixing hues together while applying it. I don't know much about cosmetics, but that's what Zoe remarked while weeping after discovering the package on her bed. I notified my wife, and she said she'd ask Sloan to apologize, but I purchased Zoe a lock after discovering she was taking expensive possessions out of the home as a result of this incident. Sammy and his children were irritated when they discovered the lock. The girls were particularly unhappy. When Sammy inquired about it, I told him the truth. He said my girls are not robbers. It's normal for girls of the same age to borrow each other's stuff, he said, adding that Zoe could easily get another makeup kit for $15 at Walmart and shouldn't even be buying expensive adult makeup in the first place, and he suggested that my wife take care of this defect. Zoe's personality involves her attempting to appear older than she is. With this degree of enabling, he accused me of being overprotective and babying Zoe. I told him this was between me and my wife, but she shamed me for putting a lock on Zoe's door for her cousins to see and preventing them from spending time with her, saying I was supposed to treat them like daughters, and then demanded I remove it. But I said this lock will not be removed until her brother and his daughters leave our house. She became enraged when I suggested we toss them out and that her family would hate me for it. So I told her that I had allowed Sam and his family move in, something her OWN family had refused to do, and that she should begin by blaming them for not taking in their own son and nieces/granddaughters. We wouldn't be having this much trouble at home if her family hadn't been hesitant to assist. Everyone has been giving me and Zoe the quiet treatment, which has irritated my wife greatly. Story 2. AITA for siding with a homewrecker. My sister Annie, 30s female, is enamored with a girl named Jane, 20s female, with whom her husband cheated on her in mid-2020. I'm not sure why. Jane is neither the first or the last person to do so. She was one of the good people. Didn't know he was married, broke it off when she discovered it, and provided evidence of his infidelity to his wife. He twisted this as she's trying to split us up, and my sister fell for it. That's because Jane has already blocked them on everything. He's the one that essentially pursued her for months after that. Annie, on the other hand, has been following Jane's social events. Annie calls me up to gloat whenever Jane tweets about anything horrible occurring. Annie begins sobbing about how unfair it is whenever she tweets about anything positive that occurs. Jane seems to have gotten a high-paying new job, gotten engaged, and is pregnant in the previous several months. Annie had a full-fledged breakdown as a result of it. It's all she'll ever speak about. She'll phone me at least twice a week and text me many times a day with this nonsense. She doesn't want advice, she doesn't want to leave him, she just wants to vent. My other sister is likewise fed up with it, but my mother says we must be nice since it is difficult for Annie. All I want is for her to quit. I tried pity, harsh love, shifting the issue, and recommending counseling, but nothing worked. It never stops. Jane did this and said that this morning. She was ranting about how Jane's fiancé would cheat because she's too big, she's pregnant, and her kid would be and so on. Then she said, I don't mind since I won and she didn't. She had him for a week, but I'll have him for the rest of my life. That got me angry for some reason. I told Annie she won a slimy serial cheater who likes to creep on legal teens, who never supported her through illness or depression, never lifts a finger around the house, sulks about having to babysit his own kids, constantly makes mean jokes about her, and harshly criticizes her appearance despite his own. Perhaps you're preoccupied with Jane's life, "Since yours is a gigantic trash fire," I remarked. Since then, I've had to remove my social media accounts since I'm constantly receiving abuse from any of her friends and extended family for being unkind. Apparently, I have no morals and approve of cheating, but none of them are going for the genuine cheater. Is it only me that thinks he's a liar? My other sister claims that I wasn't incorrect, but that I was an for saying it so brutally, and that Annie is also a victim. I'm not sure. Reddit. Edit. I'll continuing recommending counseling to Annie, and I'll find Jane's socials and let her know what's going on. I'll let you know if anything occurs as a result of it. Some folks advised I expose this thread to Annie, but I know she'll freak out if she believes I posted her personal information online, even if it's anonymously. Story 3. Ada for telling my sister that our dad doesn't have to pay the tuition of our brother's stepkids. I am the eldest daughter of my father's first marriage, 4 to 5 years old. R, 44 male, G, 42 female, and B are my 3 youngest siblings, 40 male. Dad ditched Mom for his mistress when I was 19, went complete NC because he wanted a new start, no strings attached, and left us penniless since Mom didn't have a job. Dad forced her to resign, and neither mine or my siblings because we were 100% at school. R was able to hunt down Dad and urged him to either reestablish his connection with us or give us money. Dad protested, but when certain people began asking awkward questions, at the time, Dad's business had risen, and he had become a very wealthy man, but he relied on his excellent reputation for that. He relented. For the next few years, Dad ruled over our lives with an iron fist, threatening to kick us and slash or Mom out of our house, because he still owned it. If we didn't comply with his demands, which included forbidding G and B from attending college because he didn't approve of their career choices, G ended up studying something he chose for her. Then, Dad had a heart attack that almost killed him. I, my brothers, and even my mother hurried to his side, but his new wife, and, at the time, 2 adolescent daughters never showed their sense. We were there anyhow. This was a rude awakening for Dad. He begged for our pardon and changed his tune nearly completely. He handed our home to Mom, assisted us whenever we reached out to him without impeding himself, provided G a position in his business, and funded B's tuition. Dad also paid for our weddings, and when my, ours, and G's kids were old enough to start elementary school, B doesn't have kids, Dad paid for their school fees, which he will continue to do for all of his grandchildren until they graduate from college, and no, he will not impose his will on their choices. R remarried a few years ago. His first wife cheated to A, who already had 2 daughters and gave R another child. The difficulty is that G has been demanding for over 2 years that Dad should also pay for A's other children's school fees, since it's only fair now that they're part of the family. The first time she told R and A, they apparently looked at her as if she was crazy and said no because the girl's father pays for that, and he's very happy to do it. G didn't like it, and every now and then she keeps saying that Dad needs to do it. Yesterday she was talking to Mom over the phone and told her that if Dad is going to pay with money for what he did to us, it's only fair that we milk out of him, as Mom chastised her for saying so, they argued. G hung up on Mom and contacted me, hoping to find someone who agreed with her. When I informed her that she was being stupid, she became more furious, called me in a hole, and hung up on me. She seemed extremely upset, and I'm now feeling quite bad. Is this edit? Just in case someone asks, yes, Dad has offered to pay for counseling for all of us. G and Mom were the only ones who declined the offer since Mom doesn't believe she needs it, and G flatly refused, saying that therapy is a waste of time.